What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 14-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. It's been a choppy start to the MLB season with slates all over the place, but now we're getting the main event. Pretty much every team in Major League Baseball available today. So right now, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel to see all the content we have going on for the MLB, NBA, PGA, NHL, everything you want all day long. And if you don't know it by now, the Four Corners is the only place on the internet where every single day you get a chance to win a free week of Awesemo Plus. All you have to do is like this video and comment your double dong pick down below. We didn't have one in Major League Baseball yesterday for the main slate, but hopefully we'll have one today with all these teams around. So right now, hit that like button and comment your double dong pick, the guy you think is going to hit 2 home runs today, down below, because you will enter to win that free week of Awesemo Plus, giving away 1 membership of those every single video where we have somebody who correctly guesses the double dong pick for the day. But you guys know the drill. We've got no time to waste here in these Four Corners. So let's get right into our first corner of the top stacks on today's slate, which of course come from the top stacks tool that you can find for yourself at awesemo.com/join. And the top stack today looks like the Mets at the Rockies with 5.9 implied runs, a 14.7% chance of being the top stack, along with 20% ownership. The Mets get the expected boost from a game at Colorado with a stack that appears slightly overowned, but still with high potential. Chichi Gonzalez will oppose them with a 16% K rate since last season that should play well with big middle of the order power from guys like Dominic Smith, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and Michael Conforto. Our next to the top stacks is like the White Sox at the Red Sox with 4.3 implied runs, a 5% chance of being the top stack, along with 1% ownership expected. Stack ownership projects to be relatively flat outside of the Mets, but the White Sox look solid in a match with Nick Pivetta. Pivetta gives up a 240 ISO since 2019, and while he may find some strikeouts, with 6 hitters striking out above league average in the White Sox projected lineup, there's enough power to find upside with their bats. And our last of the top stacks looks like the Nationals versus the Diamondbacks with 4.7 implied runs, a 4.5% chance of being the top stack, and 6% ownership expected. Washington will be more of an unavoidable play on FanDuel, but they look good everywhere thanks to a match with Taylor Widener. Widener struggled mightily versus left-handed batters with a 7.2 xFIP and a 330 ISO allowed in a limited sample size, meaning big potential for power lefties like Juan Soto, Josh Bell, and Kyle Schwarber towards the top of the Nats order. And now onto our next corner of the top pitchers on today's slate, once again curated by our Awesemo data team led by Alex Awesemo Baker. And the number 1 overall pitcher today looks like Jacob deGrom in a matchup at the Rockies with a 45% chance of being the top pitcher, along with 48% ownership. DeGrom looked like the top pitcher on yesterday's early slate before a postponed game, and now will take his 39% K rate since 2019 to Coors. DeGrom may get unlucky with power due to the park factors, but he still should find fantasy production in a tough situation, thanks to Colorado's 29.5% aggregate K rate, with 6 hitters that strike out above league average versus right-hand pitchers. Our next top pitcher today looks like Max Scherzer versus the Diamondbacks with a 25% chance of being the top pitcher, along with 35% ownership. Scherzer does seem overowned on both DraftKings and FanDuel, and he faces an Arizona lineup with only 2 hitters that strike out above league average. Scherzer has a 31% K rate since last season and faces a weak Arizona lineup, but in terms of pay-up options, he seems a decent bit behind DeGrom today. And our last of the top pitchers looks like Walker Buehler at the Padres with a 13% chance of being the top pitcher, along with 4% ownership. Buehler currently looks like he'll be overlooked more on DraftKings than FanDuel, and he does seem like less of a priority pay-up option than DeGrom. But Buehler pitches deep in the games by Dodgers standards with a 29% K rate since 2019, so he has potential as a tournament pivot against the Padres lineup that only has a 20% aggregate K rate. It does get tougher if Fernando Tatis Jr. is back. And now into our next corner, the top owned players on today's slate, which of course come from our Awesemo ownership projections that you can find every single day. And the top owned play looks like Jacob deGrom at the Rockies with 48% ownership on DK, first overall, and 37% ownership on FanDuel, also first overall. deGrom seems to easily be the most talented pitcher of the day against one of the league's worst hitting teams. Playing at Coors comes with some inherent risk, but deGrom seems worth at least matching the field's exposure with the best pure talent even on a 14-game slate. Another top-owned play is Jose Ramirez at the Reds with 32% ownership expected on FanDuel, second overall, and 27% ownership on DraftKings, seventh overall. Ramirez has a cheap price on FanDuel and a middling price on DraftKings against Jeff Hoffman, a pitcher who's given up a 271 ISO since 2019. The park factors will also be in his favor with the game at Cincinnati, so it's hard to advocate against Ramirez at his 241 ISO versus right-hand pitching, other than his very chalky ownership. And our last of the top-owned plays looks like Frankie Montas versus the Tigers with 36% ownership on DraftKings, good for second overall, and 16% ownership on FanDuel. Montas should be the top-owned SP2 option today on DraftKings and a decently played value pitcher on FanDuel thanks to the matchup against the mostly putrid Detroit team. Montas has a 25.5% K rate since 2019, while Detroit has 6 hitters who strike out more than league average. A solid situation for Montas at his price point, one possibly worth moving away from in GPPs. And now into our last corner, the low-owned dart throws, a place where guys like Steven Piscotty can shine in the sunlight as he did yesterday. And my first low-owned dart throw is going to be Joey Gallo from Texas. Gallo's primary value in baseball is hitting righties hard, and he'll face Jorge Lopez, a right-handed pitcher that gives up a 260 ISO and a 6% home run rate to left-handed batters. Gallo's a volatile play with a 33% K rate, but his 240 ISO gives him power potential at a decent price today. My next low-owned dart throw is going to be Aaron Judge from the Yankees. It's rare to see the Yankees so low-owned, but that's the case on a slate of this size, despite a matchup against Michael Wacha, the 320 batting average and 252 ISO he allows to right-handed batters since 2019. Judge is expensive, but he has a 260 ISO and a 6.3% home run rate that could mash against the proven mediocrity of Michael Wacha. And let's get a pitcher in the lower-owned dart throws with JT Brubaker from Pittsburgh. Brubaker is at a comparable price to the highly owned Frankie Montas, and he has a comparably good matchup on paper against the Milwaukee lineup with 7 players who strike out above league average. Brubaker is much riskier than Montas, but he has a 23.5% K rate and a decent sample size since last season. If things break his way and he survives Yelich and Hura in particular, he could be a sneaky tournament winner at SP2. Now, that was a lot to dig through for this monster slate, so make sure to tune into the MLB Live Before Lock show coming up at 3:45 Eastern, 12:45 Pacific time to take you through everything else you need to know. Of course, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to also like the video and comment your double dong pick down below if you want a chance to win that free week of Awesemo Plus. Tune into NBA Live Before Lock later today to catch me again, as well as the tip-off if this video comes out before then. Either way, I appreciate you guys very much. Hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy your days. Good luck.